Hi, I'm Dave Schneider from Good Enough Games, and today I am here to read through the instruction book and teach you how to play Cooking Customers. Right now what you're seeing is the front and back of the box. Now let's see what's inside. Inside the box you will find 120 main deck cards, 85 of which are completely unique. You'll find 36 table/money cards, 4 custom dice with meal, fired, and blank sides, 30 meal tokens, and a rule book, a how-to guide for people that can't cook. How to play. The main deck of cards and table cards should be placed in 2 separate piles in the middle of the players. The table deck should be placed with the meal side up and the money side down. Place the 30 black tokens used to represent meals and the dice on the table. Deal 5 cards to each player. Gameplay will go to the left. On your turn, you may play up to 2 cards, but you must play at least 1. You cannot play both cards on yourself or both cards on opponents, just 1 on each. You play on yourself by laying down in front of you, and on another player by laying down in front of them. You may also discard 1 or both face up in the discard pile if you wish not to play them. At the end of your turn, draw back up to 5 cards. Note, you can play defensive cards immediately if a card is being played against you by an opponent. At the same time as step 3, you will draw a table card. You will not draw another table card until you've completed it. When you complete it, you can flip over the card to reveal the tip earned to the other players. You will not draw a new table card until the beginning of your next turn, so any extra meals you've earned are returned to the center pile. At the beginning of your next turn, you will draw a new table card, even if you can't roll the dice. Note, your tips must remain visible to all players throughout the game, but only after you've completed the table. Until then, keep it to yourself. After you have played your cards, you will roll the dice, also known as the cooking roll. You must have a cook card equipped on yourself in order to roll the dice. If you have a cook, roll the number of dice indicated on the card. The dice have 3 sides: meal, fired, and blank. If you roll a meal, place a black token on your table card to indicate the number of meals you have. If you roll and all the dice say fired, you must discard your cook. Blank dice do nothing unless a card specifically says so. Minus cards take dice away from your roll, increasing your chances of being fired. Plus cards and helper cards add extra dice that are rolled after you have rolled your cooking roll and do not affect your cook getting fired. So you would roll for your cook my 3 dice. I would get 2 meals, and then I would roll afterwards my +2 for my coffee, and I would also get 2 meals. Fired dice do not matter with plus cards. Be the first player to earn $20 or more to win the game. Cook cards. You may only have 1 cook equipped at a time. You will need to have 1 equipped on yourself in order to roll the dice. Cook cards are played by laying the card down in front of yourself and remain in play until someone takes them or another card discards them, or they are fired. Each cook will allow you to roll a different amount of dice, indicated on each cook card. Some cooks have different attributes, such as not being affected by certain cards. All the attributes are on the cards, so be sure to read each cook card. There are some cooks that say can replace any cook in play in red. You can play these cards on other players to replace their cooks. They will have to discard their current cook and use the new one. Customer cards. Anytime a customer card is played, the recipient is able to attempt to void out the effects of the card by cooking the customer. They will be able to roll 2 dice, even if they don't have a cook. If both dice say meal, they can discard the customer card and place 2 meals on their table card. If they do not have a table card, they may draw a new one. If they fail to get both dice to say meal, the customer complaint must be dealt with. Customer cards can be instantly stopped with cards like the Simmer Down card. These cards can also stop health inspectors and thief cards, but only if they are being played against you. Plus, minus, and helper cards. All minus cards are subtracted from your cooking roll. So if you have a cook that can roll 3 dice and someone plays a -2 card on you, you can only roll 1 die. If that die turns up to say fired, you must discard your cook. Less dice increases the chances of your cook getting fired. Some minus cards only affect your next cooking roll, and others affect each roll until you equip kitchen supplies such as gloves, work shoes, or first aid kits to stop it. All plus cards and helper cards are rolled separately after your cooking roll. If your cook is fired during your first roll, you must discard your unused plus cards as they are only good for 1 roll, whereas helper cards, such as trainees and robo-cooks, stay with you until you lose them or someone takes them. You may only have 1 helper card equipped at a time. You must have a cook equipped in order to use plus cards and helper cards, but you can still play them on yourself to use once you get a cook. Kitchen supplies. The kitchen supply cards come in the form of gloves, work shoes, and first aid kits. As soon as you equip kitchen supplies on yourself, you may remove any minus cards they prevent and place them in the discard pile. All minus cards that can be stopped by a kitchen supply card will have a red hand, foot, or first aid symbol. Simply match this red symbol at the bottom of the kitchen supply card to the symbol on the minus card they prevent. Stealing other players' stuff. The better offer card can be used to steal other players' cooks and helper cards. The counter offer card can be played immediately to stop this, but can only be used by the person being attacked. Thief cards can be used to steal kitchen supplies, but they can be stopped by certain countering cards. Taking other players' tables. Any card that allows you to take over someone's table will also include all the meals they have earned. However, you must discard your own card and meals in order to take their table card. Cooking Customers is a game for 2 to 5 players. Teams are needed if playing with more than 5 people to keep the game from running out of cards and to speed up gameplay. In team play, teams will only pick up 1 table card per team. Teams can also play helpful cards on their partners, such as cooks, trainees, counteroffers, plus cards, etc., which would normally be against the rules. I hope you have enjoyed this walkthrough of Cooking Customers. Cooking Customers was created by Dave Schneider at Good Enough Games. You can check them out at goodenoughgames.com. Artwork was by Nathan Crandall, who can be followed on Instagram at CrandallArt. Thank you.